Hey best friends, I'm Claire.
I'm Giovanna.
Welcome to
My best friend's book club.
Just Our Best Friend's Book. I'm sorry, not ours. This is not ours. This is my best friend's book club.
Oh, I was going to say it's all of ours. I was going to be fully generous.
No, just mine. No, just kidding. I'm joking.
It's just you and I, best friends book club.
No. We love you, book clubbers. We are a book club for non-readers because we summarize at the start of every episode. And we're a place for readers if you love to read along with us.
But not like children non-readers. Like they're still sounding it out.
Okay, so
6,
what did
7.
you say?
6, 7.
I hate you kids, but it is funny. I don't hate you. It's funny.
Wow, we hate you.
We don't hate anyone because we're learning.
We're in self-help
We
mode.
are in a learning November time, and we're giving thanks, and we're being grateful. What are we reading, Yana?
Confused Girl
Bye.
Giovanna Silvestri.
Good job.
I think. But
I think you said that right. But Giovanna, hey girl.
Hey girl. Tell us
Confused
who-
girl. Let
We're
us know if we said that
confused
wrong.
if we said it right.
We're there with you. That's right. So we're diving into Giovanna's book. So we're going to break this down a little bit differently than what we normally do. We're going to break it down by each chapter and then talk about some of the key themes as we go.
And I feel like our listeners are going to learn a lot about us. I feel like we're going to have a lot of discussion.
I've got some introspective questions for you,
do.
Yana. And remember, listeners, we're going to have Giovanna on the podcast.
Can't wait.
Our last episode. So we're going to be able to ask her some of these questions as well.
Do you think our listeners, our biggest fans, might have some questions?
Yeah,
for
I was
her
going to
that they want?
say, if there's anything you want to ask her after reading her book or listening to the pod, send us any questions or thoughts, and we're happy to chat with Giovanna herself.
Or if you're a confused girl and need some help sorting it out, just in general.
I think we're all confused girls.
That we are, but the listener will realize that soon.
And as I understand it, we should remain confused
Absolutely.
girls.
Did we get that right, Giovanna?
Let us know.
Let us know. Email us.
Okay, so we're going to dive into the first half of the book, and then next week we'll finish off the rest of the book, and then the final episode will be an interview with Giovanna. For this week, we start with an introduction. Giovanna explains her point of view on confusion and its power. She says, quote, "Confusion is a natural byproduct of growth. Confusion is the opposite of standing in place. It is the condition of feeling bewildered or uncertain." She goes into speaking of how you can break away from traditional career paths and throwing your job security to the wind, which I have in discussion.
I'm sure you do. I thought about you a lot during this.
It's not that I disagree with Giovanna. I think it's an interesting topic, and it's definitely something I feel is more easier said than done.
I agree.
So then this begs the question of what truly brings you joy and satisfaction? And if you're not following your path that's been paved, then what path are you creating for yourself? And it's a time to reevaluate your priorities and choose to focus more on the aspects of life that fuel your soul. She talks about fueling your soul. I like that.
Girl, I'd feel your soul.
Inadvertently, I think I'm feeling my soul.
I feel rejected.
I love you. You're feeling my soul.
Thank you.
You are the only thing that fuels my soul.
Oh my God. I love being the only thing that fuels your soul.
That's all I need. And I'm confused about it.
And I want you to stay confused about it.
So rather than it's funny, I know. So rather than thinking about our bank accounts and what other people's expectations are of us, what are our priorities and how are we feeding our soul? She also talks about the role of the Western woman, which I also wanted to talk about.
So far you're hitting on all the points I thought you would.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is the women of the world that are no longer expected to get married, have kids, the less traditional woman. And then towards the end of this introduction, Giovanna, she really pumps us up.
She does.
I'm talking like pump the jam, pump it up. You know, like she fucking got me going. I'm sorry to cuss, but she got me going, okay?
Listen, I'm going to admit something.
Okay.
I don't like to admit things about self-help books. But I will admit something.
This is a self-help book / memoir.
Sure. But I stood in the mirror and I complimented parts of myself that I normally don't like.
I was wondering what you were going to do with that part of the book.
Yeah.
I love this. Okay.
I absolutely did it. I still don't feel anything yet. But I will try to keep going.
There are things, too, that I wrote down that I want to try. Mm-hmm. So let's get into them as we go. I thought about you with the compliments part. I wonder if you were like, you knew which parts were me.
Absolutely.
Giovanna, girl, thank you for inspiring us. Incredible. We've only gone through your introduction. #confused.
#confused forever, girl.
Life. I'll give you some quotes here that really, it was the way her words were being used. I was like, I'm feeling inspired and pumped. Okay, quote, I will show you how to harness your creative genius, allowing you to radiate into every aspect of your existence. You will learn the art of loving the heck out of yourself. She also says, quote, brace yourself for an enchanting exploration of manifesting health and happiness. I just like her word choice. Yeah. Enchanting and like radiating, loving the heck out of yourself. Where are we going, girl? Take me with you.
I also appreciate any help I can get with manifesting because I don't really know how to do it.
She's got a lot of tips in here.
She really
about how
does.
to do it.
No, she really does.
As we go through this, I have some questions specifically for you.
Oh, no.
On how her methods, maybe how they feel, if you've ever tried them, or if you had did something similar. But we'll get into it.
Okay.
I know, we're all really excited.
Just because you talked about quote, I mean, you're a quote queen, but I just got to give it to Giovanna. Sorry, no, not you. But my best friend Giovanna, I just have to give it to her for, like, these chapters start out with a quote she's picked from someone, and I have loved them all.
I agree. Mm-hmm. I really like the Dr. Seuss one.
I like anything Dr. Seuss.
And I like the variety. It's like they come from artists, they come from big corporation people. They're from all over the place. Yep. It's fun.
They're good quotes.
Good job, Giovanna.
Good job.
We can't wait to talk to you.
Can't wait.
Okay, so diving into chapter 1, it's called Little Miss Confusion. And this chapter 1 is kind of a tiptoe off of introduction. So I'm going to reiterate what happened in this, and then we'll go into a small snippet of discussion before we dive into chapter 2. I'll also say something I really liked about how she wrote this book. As you read it, she tells you about her personal experiences, and she's examples of things that work really well for her. And she's very open about some of her struggles. And then at the end, she just has like a great summary about like, here's everything that I talked about. Very concise in bullet point form. So those are kind of the main things we're going to focus on because we don't want to like give the whole book away, obviously. And we're going to have Giovanna on here to talk specifics.
Well, I like that structure too in a more self-help book too, because you kind of get like your homework assignment.
Like your checklist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I think something too with self-help books is that you get so carried away with everything, like thinking about how it relates to your life and like your experiences, that it's really nice for me to then get to the end of the chapter and be like, reminder, this is what we read, because I'm like, oh, I've been reading but thinking about my life this whole time.
Right. We're actually talking about you.
Yeah. Oops.
So, getting into chapter 1, this is just a short list of kind of what she covers here. So she begins with her personal journey. She's chasing a prestigious education and a glamorous career in the film industry. She's believing that this is really going to be her path to success. And, you know, sort of what a lot of us do. I have done this myself, where you tie your success and even who you are sometimes to your job.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I've done that. I grew out of it, but I did it for many years. So you can speak to that.
Can I?
No, for me, like you saw me do that.
No, but I mean,
I'm perfect.
Yeah, when you said I grew out of that, that's when I was like, oh yeah.
So you're saying I haven't? Oh,
everything's fine.
Anyway, okay,
we're fine. Okay. What if Giovanna breaks us up?
She's like, I don't want to interview on this podcast.
Are these gonna air before she?
You're too confused. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
She also talks about beneath the surface, she's lost. She's living in the expectations of her family, her peers, and society rather than making her own decisions and following her own path. She struggles with deep feelings of inadequacy, constant comparison. This erodes her self-confidence, and her mind is becoming a loop of self-criticism. Does it sound familiar yet, listener?
Hashtag relatable.
She's replaying every perceived failure like it's a never-ending show. And then she has these very two important awakenings, and these help her recognize that she needs to stop pretending. She needs to accept the confusion that she's in and with honesty and compassion and go forward. And she learns that each stage of life brings lessons and that awakenings arrive when they are ready to arrive and it's not on our time. And her key messages are basically like, don't let education, outside expectations, or these sort of glittery, glamorous dreams and careers like the film industry blind you. Your self-acceptance, including the confusion and imperfections that you have, is leading you towards this path of discovery and finding your true self. Okay, so the things I want to talk about from intro to chapter 1. I wanted to hear, first off, what is your perspective on how Giovanna describes what it means to be a confused girl? I feel like the term confused girl, it's like opportunity-based thinking, where it's okay to be confused, because sometimes people don't like to be confused. They want to know the answers, but it's okay to not have all the answers. And when you're confused, you're in a specific state of mind where there's opportunity to seek out answers, to find new paths, to explore new things. That's kind of how I took confused girl. I think where I got tripped up on it, and this is something I think I want to ask her, is it's very like confused girl. And I wondered if her book was geared towards women specifically, or if she feels like the book can be more gender neutral. You know, like...
I mean, I think it can be gender neutral.
I think so,
she
too.
herself, is just a confused girl.
That's what I thought. But there are, like, moments in here where she talks about, like, womanhood specifically.
Yeah.
So I wondered if her intended audience is truly women, which I think is fair, too. Like, womanhood is very hard. And I feel like that's perfectly acceptable if that's the target demographic. But I did wonder if she felt like her confused girl sentiment spans beyond womanhood. But that was something I was going to ask her. What do you think, though?
I just feel like no one, 100% ever knows what's next or what the plan really is. So everyone is kind of in a state of that confusion she talks about and always having those opportunities ahead. Even the people who I think they're in like a rut or stale in whatever they're doing, like still are probably thinking in their head in a confused girl way.
Yeah, we can all be confused girls.
I think we are all confused girls.
Yeah, for sure. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about was this job security, traditional career paths, and throwing caution to the wind.
Yeah.
I do feel like this is easier said than done.
Absolutely. But it depends also what supports you have to fall on.
Right, and I think it depends on your life. I work in big tech, and I know people who have gotten laid off, and it can be very detrimental because they have kids to support and a mortgage, and they just have, I guess, a lot of these traditional things, and it's hard for them to just be like, well, Mm-hmm. But on the other side of the coin, with this same group of people, I have known quite a few of them who said that it's a terrible thing that happened. It spiraled them, but it did push them to think beyond what they were doing, and they ended up in a role that was totally different, or they became an entrepreneur in some way, and they find that their life is much more happy and successful. There's just a lot of, what is the word? It's not contingencies, but to support their families and pay for their houses and cars and stuff.
I guess to me, it feels like it's a really nice idea and I wish we could all do it. But I also know, like, I work with families that have family members with disabilities. And I know, like, a very common thing amongst siblings as they get older is feeling like they need to pursue jobs that will help them support their sibling later on when their parents are gone.
Oof.
Right? Like,
That's kind of like not living for yourself, though, right?
Absolutely not. But I don't think a lot of them feel like they can. And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that I think it's a really nice idea to just end up who you want to be and what, you know, do what you want to do and not necessarily work for the man, but it's not always possible.
Yeah, that's fair.
And there's also, like, there's immigrant families and, like, all these other, you know, all these situations where when my family, you know, immigrated to the U.S., you work to survive and you go to school to survive and you do all those things. And if someone had told my mom at that time, like,
like no,
this confused girl kind of way, she would be like,
no, but I appreciate the sentiment in what she's saying. And, like, I think about it with my job and my career. You've known me my whole life, basically.
Essentially,
but
we're very young.
I think this is a good opportunity, especially for younger people who don't have those sort of extenuating circumstances, where it's okay to not just, like, go to college and go into this traditional role. It's okay to think outside the box. I feel like that's what she's trying to say, right? Is, like, obviously there's always going to be extenuating circumstances, but it's okay to think beyond the societal structure that we have today. And
well,
I
that's
feel
for
like,
everything, not just
Well, yeah,
career-wise,
like,
but we have a
and-
timeline, right? You go elementary school, middle school, high school, college.
yeah, get your education.
Yeah, you know, graduate degree,
Yeah.
if you're doing that, then you work, then you get married, then you have kids, then you retire. You know,
Yeah.
there's a timeline to everything. There's a step by step.
It's also kind of like playing into what she's talking about, the role of Western women, right? Because we as in women, okay?
We do speak for all of them.
There was a time where that was just what you did. You got married, you had kids, you were a homemaker, and that was the goal of your life. Mm-hmm. And that's not the case anymore. And there's a lot of women who are driving to be more than that, and they want the perception of womanhood to be more than that.
Yeah.
So,
But I also think that our generation was really the one that was,
millennial?
yeah, like really having to think about that, what society wants me to be versus what I want to be. You know, I think our parents' generation was still very much like,
Yeah.
you get married, you have kids.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people I know in my life still, you know who you
Yeah.
are. They're like, so you're not married yet? And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I want to get married. They're like, you don't,
But I think
do you want
like,
kids? And I'm like, I don't think I want them.
but I think like women our age are still though having those feelings of like, is it okay that I feel this way?
Yeah.
And I feel like the next generation is more like,
Gen
it's
Z?
okay. Yeah. Like, it's okay that I feel this way. I'm good.
Yeah.
And we're still the ones that are kind of like, it feels weird not to want this. It feels weird not to be right there.
I think that comes from our family and friends too, though, right? Because, like, I remember my grandma, R.I.P. girl, love ya. She was always like,
You said that last time too.
I do, I love her.
I know.
I'll say it every time.
No, I just like my
You
grandma.
remember.
All right, well, just that I listened to it recently.
She could not understand how I was so happy being single. And then when I was in a relationship, she'd be like, you're so much happier now though, right? And I was like, no, grandma, it's like, it's different. She'd be like, no, but right? And I'm like, I can't deal with you. Like, fine, if that's what you want to hear. But I wonder if Gen Z has to deal with that at all. Gen Z, let us know.
Email us.
667?
667. But also, would Gen Z email us? Or I think you guys just call us.
DM us on Instagram or TikTok.
I don't know. I hear Gen Z calls a lot.
That's weird.
I know, right?
I don't like that
My
at all.
brother's always like on the phone with his
I
friends.
don't like that.
It's weird.
Have fun. Okay.
Absolutely.
She talks about letting your ego go. Do you struggle with ego and letting that go?
I mean, I will struggle with the pieces she talked about of like not feeling like you are where you're supposed to be, or that someone else has it so easy and, you know, whatever here and looks so nice that way, like whatever. But
Do you
not,
feel like you have trouble apologizing to people because your ego?
no. I think I have trouble apologizing to people because I hate confrontation and because I start to cry immediately. Even if they're like, oh my God, no, like I wasn't upset at all. I'd be like, are you sure? No, like I just know tears are coming, which is why I don't like to apologize. So instead, I do my best to never do anything wrong. and let people walk all over me so that I never have to apologize.
I also try to never do anything wrong, and then I over apologize, which she talks about later. So I'm going to save that for then. I think with ego stuff, I think at work sometimes I can get with that, but it's like I work in an incredibly competitive environment, and I feel like you have to be able to, like, not to make excuses. Maybe I am. Who knows? You tell me, Giovanna. Like, to work in such an aggressive environment that's very male driven, you have to be able to, like, get your seat at the table. So I probably don't do it as eloquently as I should, but whatever. I'm not. I trip a lot. Okay, let's get into chapter 2.
Okay.
This is called Goodbye Shame and Guilt.
That's with me forever, I'm pretty sure, girl.
This is a hard one, honestly. So building on her earlier themes, she's talking about self-acceptance, and she's now stepping into deeper self-reflection to confront her shame and her guilt head on. And throughout each of these chapters, she's giving you very tangible examples of ways in which she has dealt with these things and how she has struggled and sort of how she comes out of them with all these topics. So she begins by identifying some emotional triggers and reoccurring patterns that fuel her personal shame, and she examines these things with curiosity rather than feeling in judgment of herself. So instead of hiding her feelings, she really leans into vulnerability and opening herself up to others so that the idea of shame and guilt kind of loses its power, which I agree with. It's like when you have a dirty little secret, if you just tell someone, kind of like releases you, or you've been lying about something, it releases you from like the shame and the guilt and what you've been hanging on to. She also explores roots of guilt. She's recognizing that there's influences in that, like family, religion. She talks about religion a lot in these. She was raised Catholic. Me too, girl. I hear ya. There were some quotes in there. I was like, whoop. She talks about society.
Jewish, which is very close to the Catholic guilt.
Society roots within guilt, and she uses that awareness to practice self-love and to help herself grow from those sorts of traditions. She also talks about this symbolic quote-unquote backpack ritual where she imagines herself tossing away her insecurities to feel lighter and more free. Whatever's sort of bogging her down, she puts in her metaphorical backpack, and she goes on a long stroll and she kind of throws it as she goes. I have this in discussion. And then she kind of ends this section with a key part of her process is just radical self-kindness, and she's releasing self-punishment. She's seeking forgiveness where it's necessary. She's offering forgiveness to herself and to others so that she can just move forward, stronger, clearer-minded individual. Lots of good stuff in there, honestly. As I was reading it, I was like, girl's got a formula that I don't have, you know?
No, I think some of it too is like you have to be actively thinking about it too, so you can catch yourself in these moments, right, and make the progress forward. Whereas
instead of being reactive,
right? Yeah. And I think sometimes like I'm so caught up in the moment that it isn't until way later when I am reading the self-help book or an article or whatever where I'm like, wow, I could have handled that differently, or like I should have talked to myself this way about it. So yeah, you have to kind of be actively thinking and noticing these things in yourself all the time.
Yeah. Okay, I want to talk about this backpack ritual.
Girl, I was picturing like little Dora the Explorer with her backpack just dumping shit out.
Have you ever done anything like that? Or have you done anything similar? No. Or what do you think about an activity like that? Like, would you try it? Or is there something adjacent that feels more fitting for you? See, like, I think for me, I see you thinking, so I'm just going to help you fill the space.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Like, I think that's why I run a lot, is because it helps me kind of just like release. With every step, I can just let things go, especially if I had a bad day at work, or it's honestly my release. Like, like, especially when I'm in deep turmoil, like let's say someone important in my life dies, I just run it out, and it all feels like it's just falling off me. But it's only temporary because there's still things inside that, but I feel like mine is running.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think exercise is very common as that kind of
But not just with
healing.
grief. Like,
no, but with stress, like all of that. I think
she talks about exercise too, and she's a big yogi gal, it
Yep.
sounds, with her cool leggings line.
crystal leggings.
Is that what they're called? Oh, cool.
Well, no, they're called Confused Girl leggings.
Oh, shout
Sponsor
out.
us.
We'll never let sponsor us go.
No, it's definitely
Taco
my thing
Bell.
all the time.
Sponsor us.
Just every time we talk about anything, I laugh every time when I listen. We're so funny.
He's confused, not me.
Not me. I know exactly what I need to know. I think for me, I know this is going to be totally unrelatable for you, but for me, it's cooking.
That is unrelatable for me, but I think that's great.
No, for me, it's like sometimes even when I'm like really tired, I just so badly wish I had like a frozen pizza or something in the freezer. I can find myself during like stressful work days just thinking about how much I look forward to work being done so I can go be in the kitchen.
That's true. I remember you've had stressful nights where you're like, I'm going to get my dough rising. And I'm like, that sounds terrible right now.
Shit. There's something about, when I was gardening over the summer.
Oh my God.
That was another release thing though.
We're
for
all
me,
glad that's over for now.
Hey now.
Actually, I'm not. I got a lot of good herbs out of that.
You're not a confused girl, you're a bitchy girl.
You a bitch. You confused, but you a bitch.
No, there's actual like research about putting your hands in dirt and like it releasing stress.
Oh, like the feeling of earth?
I don't know, sand, dirt. I don't know. Just
it's almost like you're reconnecting with your
there's like walking barefoot and stuff. I don't know, but there's just something so soothing about doing this stuff that I feel the same way about food. Like I think it's just really soothing to smell the smells and feel the different textures and hear the sound of the cutting and hear the sound of the sizzling. Like I like that all. And I'm so focused on it that I think it makes whatever problems I was having feel like they're finally more like settled and I can just kind of accept them and move on.
Okay, so we have our own backpack activities. They're just they're different. She also talks about the art of the apology and the ability to forgive a lot in this section.
Do you think you forgive for real?
I think I forgive. Chapter 5, I think. I don't want to, we can get into it then, but she talks about forgiveness and boundaries. I feel like that's where I am. I'm good at forgiving and letting it go, but I have boundaries. And if you try to break my boundaries, it kind of like stirs things up inside of me.
Are these boundaries you've put up because of okay.
It's like why I had to forgive you in the first place.
Yeah.
And so then that kind of like just stirs up why we even got here and why I had to find forgiveness in the first place. So I feel like I can forgive so long as you respect my boundaries.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I don't struggle with apologizing though. Like I'm an over apologizer, which is also in chapter 5, to the point where I probably should figure out how to not apologize so much, especially as a woman.
I will say I'm sorry a lot in terms of like, I bumped into you or you bumped into me and I'm still the one to say I'm sorry.
Honestly, I think it's rude if someone bumps into me and they don't say sorry.
I know, but has anyone ever bumped into you but you say I'm sorry?
No.
Oh, okay.
If someone bumps into me and they don't say sorry, listen, I'm Italian. Giovanna, so are you. I don't know how you're not aggressive like
Italy,
me.
sponsor us.
I get mad and I'm like, excuse you. Like, don't be rude.
Yeah, see, I'm not like that. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry you hit me with your car.
And you have like angry Italian Mexican inside of me.
No, I have.
I'm like mad at them.
No,
like, be kind. Like you bumped into me. Just like, hey, sorry about that.
I'm like, hey, you cut off my leg. I'm so sorry I got in the way of your knife.
I'm so
sorry. All my blood is causing this mess for you to clean up later. No, I apologize in that way. But the apologies I struggle with are the real, like, I need to sit down with you and, like really tell, heart to heart, like, I have really reflected on what I've done and typically done it without meaning to actually, like, hurt someone, right? But it's the ones where I know someone's not necessarily mad at me, but, like, hurt by me, where I struggle apologizing, not because I don't want to apologize, but because I just start crying and, like, I can't get it out.
Do you struggle with the confrontation? Like, you don't want to sit down and have that confrontation?
I hate confrontation. Absolutely hate confrontation.
Well, it's probably part of it then, right? Why you don't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten better with it over time just because I've had to by, like, managing a team. So,
sponsor us.
Sponsor us, teams everywhere. But, you know, just like having to have those difficult conversations with employees, I've just had to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
I hate it a lot, and I will put it off for as long as I can in the day, but I have to do it. And it's still something I really struggle with, and it's still something that haunts me for the rest of the day.
Oh, wow. Haunts. That's quite a word.
Haunts. Okay. Well, I mean, it sticks with me. When I've had to, like, fire people or,
that always sucks.
Yeah, I feel like my head's not in the game the rest of the day. Like, but I don't think I'm as good at actual forgiveness. I think I act like I am.
But you didn't actually let it go?
Well, I think I do the boundaries thing you do. Like, I've put up walls now. So maybe, like, I accept your apology and we're going to be cool and, like, still grab dinners together and everything's going to be fine. But, like, I have new walls and new boundaries because
that's fine, though. That's exactly what she's saying is
right.
Like,
so, but I'm saying I think I do that, but I still think there's, like, a little piece of me
that hasn't,
that doesn't acknowledge that part. I've moved on, but there's, like, a little
the kernel.
Yeah. And I'm always, I don't think in awe is the right word either. We're like, you know, the people in the news that are like, hey, he killed my son, but I forgive him. I'm like, I couldn't do that.
Oh, no.
I don't know how people do that, but, like, if I was to tell a person like that, hey, I forgive you for killing my loved one, I wouldn't actually mean it.
These are, like, extenuating circumstances, though, right? Like, I think we can always ask her. You know, she's talking about more common things than, like, someone murdering your loved one.
No, absolutely. That was just part of my, like...
Yeah, your thought process.
I just don't
because I go to
like
extremes. I'm a worst case scenario person, so I do a spectrum.
Hashtag anxiety, sponsor us.
Sponsor us. Actually, don't. Okay, let's go into chapter 3. So it's called Mirror, Mirror. I really thought I was going to get a quote from you right now.
I kept silent because I've gotten yelled at before for going off tangent.
So in this set of pages, we're continuing her journey. She's shedding shame, and she talks a lot about comparison and positive and negative comparison. And she steps off of this constant superior, inferior seesaw that she's on, and she's choosing to live without measuring herself against others. Honestly, I think this is incredibly important. I think this is also something that comes with age. This is something very hard to do when you're younger and you're unsure of yourself, but we'll get into it
in
about discussion.
You a lot, and I thought you would think about me a lot in these next.
And then rather than letting these comparisons diminish her, she reframes them as sources of inspiration and learning. She's dropping excuses, she's rejecting victimhood, and stepping into a role of just being like the hero of her life and the owner of her life. She's embracing her individuality, recognizing that she's unique in her strengths, and she's practicing gratitude towards her body, offering appreciation and kindness to herself. She's becoming more mindful in her relationships, especially with social media, focusing on uplifting and meaningful content rather than the side of social that we all know way too well. She also incorporates the Hawaiian hana, is that how you say it? Hana blessing into her daily routine as a simple practice of positivity and intention. I actually really liked this. I have it in the discussion points. Actually, both of her Hawaiian practices, I was like, I'm going to be Hawaiian. And then she ends with, she's inspired by supportive bonds of the bonobo females. This is are they apes? Monkey?
Yeah, they're monkeys.
Apes? Okay.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about this at work this week. I was like, what was that book I was reading about the female apes that all come together? It's actually interesting. Google it, listener. I'm not even going to get into it because it's going to take too long to explain. But it's about femalehood and kind of bonding together to help uplift each other, to lead, and celebrating your wins and creating a culture where women are empowered by other women. Even when the males are trying to act dominant and aggressive, they have such a strong culture of womanhood and, I mean, honestly, like majority, that they're able to not have to deal with that.
But the quote that I took out was, be the woman who fixes another woman's crown without telling the world that it was crooked.
Oh, yeah. That was so good.
I love that.
That was so
good.
And
I do feel that for my girl, Giovanna. I feel like she is a girl's girl.
Yeah, she seems hella girl's girl.
Yeah. Grab a drink with us, Giovanna.
I really believe in this collaboration thing. Like in every aspect of my life. I think especially in the work environment, when you try to one up or be better, sometimes it can end okay. But if you just collaborate with others, what you create is so much stronger, better, it's more diverse, it's so much more everything. That obviously spans into your personal life as well, but like I'm freaking huge on collaboration. Huge. Okay, but what about the role of social media in our lives?
I will say that after well, okay, a couple things. One is, as you know, I've been working with a sleep doctor to get better at sleeping.
Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep.
At Steven Spielberg.
.com.
Not Steven Spielberg. Stephen King. What's wrong with me? Sponsors.
I have gotten a lot better about not scrolling before bed, which has significantly improved my sleep.
Good.
Actually, after reading this part, I went in to the pages I follow on Instagram and I unfollowed a bunch that do not bring me.
Ooh, I love that for you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Giovanna.
And then I reset my algorithm kind of thing to hopefully see a little bit less of like, here's my perfect home.
Yeah.
Kind of things. I get that a lot.
I don't get that at all.
Okay. Mine is all like, here's how to organize my kitchen better than you can organize your kitchen.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And a lot of the like, I get so much consumption videos, which I hate so much because you also know like I hate stuff and like trinkets. And I get so much of that.
Capitalism's coming for you.
I know. I get so many of those videos where it's like, let me take the juice out of this bottle that contains juice and pour it into another bottle for juice so it can look beautiful in my fridge.
No.
Exactly. And that's like, I don't know, like 40% of my algorithm is that. And then I start to feel, should my fridge be more beautiful? There are some people on there that I call bullshit on all of it. Like, I feel like the moment they're done recording this video, their fridge is a mess and they take out half the shit that they put in there.
100%.
The amount that I have seen that are like opening the fridge to put their fucking lasagna leftovers in there. And then there's like literally a vase of flowers in the fridge.
Respectfully, fuck off.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. No one,
whoever you are, like,
there was one influencer that I saw that like, you know, had the vase of flowers, had like framed photos of her family, like decorations in the fridge. And I was like, that's not real.
I feel like I don't believe them. I could be wrong, but like, why are we doing this? There's so many other things.
Do you ever get those restock videos where people are like,
no.
Oh my God.
My algorithm is so different.
I get so many restock videos where I'm like, I 100% don't believe that you ran out of all of these things at the same time.
Oh, with the containers and stuff? Yeah. I mean, very rarely.
Oh my gosh. I get so many. It's literally restock overconsumption videos, kids and dogs dying.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Sourdough making videos. Homesteading videos and like end of the world survival videos and plane crashes.
I don't know if you should expose your algorithm to everyone.
Why?
No, it's fine.
I reset it.
What is mine? Like, I don't like social media. I think I wasn't always this way. And in my older years, I've really come to be like, this is a bunch of bullshit. And so I feel like my algorithm is very fun and joyful at this point in my life. Every now and again, something will pop up where it's like capitalism them. And honestly, they're usually right. Like, I just had a zipper break and it was like, here's a universal zipper. And I was like, fuck, I have to have it.
But also
but it's like $5.
I hate
like
that.
I think where I struggle with social media is when starting something new, like starting this podcast, and we don't have a huge following. People don't know who we are.
Whose fault is that, listeners?
I can get in my head sometimes about
traffic.
Yeah, how much likes we get or how much comments. And like, I know how marketing works and branding works. That's my job. But I also know how much money it takes to get to those sorts of things and time and whatever. And like, we're doing this for fun, right?
Yeah.
But it can still get in my head where I'm like, God, this is so, like, this episode is so funny. Or I feel like our content can be so strong sometimes, whether it's the pod itself or some of our social stuff. And then when it doesn't receive the likes or what I think it should, then that can kind of mess with my head. But I have to actively be like, Claire, this is a trap.
Right.
This isn't real. You know from your job and everything that if like you had all the money, all the marketing, all the time, that this shit would be like boom.
Well,
so
I think there's still, I think that's the majority. Well, there's that ego. She did not let it go.
I threw my head back and cackled. Yeah. I have a high creative bar.
There's that ego again.
It's my job. It's my job.
There it is again.
It's my job.
I think that the algorithms and all of that is definitely the vast majority of it, but I think there's a tiny little bit of luck involved in there too that...
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like virality.
Yeah, it got liked by the right person in their algorithm for all their friends, so it's...
It's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit. And I think when I see a lot of things on social media, like what I've gotten better at is also being like, okay, just remember, nobody posts the bad things, right? Like,
right, no.
Nobody is, experiencing 100% perfection. And I think Giovanna said this at some point where she was like, we're all living complex lives.
I mean, we are.
We are.
Yeah.
But I think it's easy to forget that sometimes when you see this perfection that people put out on Instagram and on just social media. I remember a lot, listener, back in the day, Claire and I used to live together when we were just young, poor little things. And now we're so old and rich. But I remember...
we're not rich.
No, we're not. We're not at all.
In our hearts.
In our hearts and minds, we've been rich for years. But I remember your ego back then when...
Are you talking about me? Or are you just saying your in general?
Your.
Oh, me?
Yeah, I'm like half joking. Where I just remember you often saying like... Because Claire's significantly older than me.
I'm not.
She's decades ahead of me. But I remember you just often saying like, when you get to like a certain age, it's just easier to be like, fuck off with this shit. Or like to not care.
That's true.
Absolutely. But no. But back then I was so young.
Oh, so young.
So much younger than you back then.
Absolutely.
And so now, as I've gathered some young friends in my life, shout out, you know who you are. I feel like I'm now that person where I'm like, oh my God, just wait till you get older. You won't care about this. I mean, it's so much easier now to just be like, fuck this. It is so much easier for me now to be like, hey, this influencer no longer brings me joy, so I'm going to unfollow and not feel like the FOMO or like whatever.
You've betrayed the clan.
Yeah, I'm just like, doesn't bring me joy. Or, there's a game I've been playing on my phone that was too addictive or whatever. And I thought about it a lot and I'm like, hey, that's not good for me. I'm just going to go ahead and delete this whole thing. Like, I just feel like that's gotten easier as I've gotten older, being able to be like, hey, it's not good for my sleep to do this. So I'm just going to stop.
Yeah. Honestly, I think a big part of it, especially with social media, it's something that unfortunately like it comes when you get older where you just become more comfortable with who you are and you become more comfortable just being like, fuck this shit, that's stupid. Mm-hmm. Like I'm so good at that now, but there was a time.
There you go.
Okay, let's talk about the Hawaiian huna blessing. So I didn't know what this was. She describes it in the book. It's part of Hawaiian spirituality. When you desire something, you bless it and the person who has it. And this is supposed to help you let go of your envy, desire, and your craving for that thing. And so she says that she'll use this blessing to manifest seeing herself with this thing or whatever it may be to help her rid herself of that envy, that desire, that thing. So I figured I'm going to give it a try.
What of mine do you want?
I want your cooking skills and desire.
Bless me for it.
I'm going to just manifest myself thinking about it, and then I'll have it as you do. Okay, let's get into chapter 4, titled, You Are the Goddess of Creativity.
Sure am.
I am. So, building on her work of releasing the comparison from the previous chapter, and she's embracing her uniqueness, she's now leaning fully into creativity as a way of living authentic and staying open to inspiration. She has a good quote in here too from Kurt. He says, practicing an art, no matter how well or badly, is a way to make your soul grow. And I really believe in that as well. She also talks about creativity. It's not an artistic niche, but it can be flexible. It can be for problem solving, curiosity, just kind of willingness to go with the flow. And she encourages authenticity, rebellion against limiting norms, openness to new perspectives, playful experimentation, and freedom from perfectionism. She also talks about like creative flow and creative block and how she has some rituals to clear her body and mind and like creating atmospheres that are positive. She likes crystals, but like obviously find what's good for you. She builds a visual wall to help with motivation, sets time aside that's like distraction free for creativity. I believe in that as well. And then when you have these creative blocks, avoid any negative influences, try to stay positive, practice resilience, and use affirmations to help strengthen your beliefs. This is something she does as well. And then ultimately, she embraces creativity as a path to a fuller life, to taking risks, trying new things, and giving herself to be bold and free, imaginative woman. So, a lot of creativity in this chapter, obviously, based off its title. So I wanted to ask you, Yana, and I think I know the answer. What is your creative outlet?
Cooking.
I knew it. Do you feel like it helps you feel fuller? Like your life is fuller? Because you weren't always doing your cooking stuff the way you have been for the past couple years. Like when you think back on when you were not doing it to now, do you feel like your life is different, fuller, better, whatever?
I think what I'm missing right now is feeding someone else with it.
You can feed me.
I know, but I just mean like
So
please.
Not me, someone else.
Please. You're like whatever. I'm talking about like real people. No, there's something about like making food for others. It's harder to just make food for yourself.
Yeah, especially
But-
with how much you're cooking.
Yeah, but I think it fills my
Soul?
bucket backpack. I don't know. It fills my soul, sure, with that relaxation and de-stressing piece.
Like if you didn't have cooking,
will
what would you do?
I would hunt and gather.
Forage the forest for mushrooms. Maybe you should be a chef and open a restaurant.
Nah, I don't want to.
Okay.
It feels really hot in there. What about you? Designer.
But it's like a double-edged sword. I feel that a lot of my creative energy is taken from me. I mean, I give it, right? I have to for my job. But I'm always doing creative things because I can't help it. And I like to explore new creative verticals, if it's, digital art or painting or drawing or pottery. Like, I just like to fuck around and find out. But I feel like the podcast for me is like a big creative outlet now outside of work. And it's something I've never done. I consider myself very good in some creative disciplines, but in audio and sound design, and I have a lot more respect for y'all, by the way. But I've just been learning so much, and it's fun because it's new and it's creative. So this has been my thing lately, but without it, it's, it's always something.
As someone with a really good and natural podcast voice, I would say
so much.
that this comes really naturally to me. So it doesn't feel so much just like a creative outlet as it does just like my home.
I hate you. Nobody likes you.
Love you, Mom.
Okay, what about this building motivational vision boards,
Have you ever
self-affirmations?
done a vision board?
That's what I was going to ask you.
Like, do we need to buy magazines first? Or, like, how does that work?
I just don't, well,
They say it works.
I
I've
have
heard a lot of
hard
people
time
say it
with,
works.
like, waste. Like, I don't want to waste paper on that. Like, I do it digitally.
I mean, I'll waste paper to, like, you know, have my life turn out how I want it to be.
I guess I just don't
Earth's
know.
dying anyway. Sorry.
I think I used to mess around vision boards when I was younger,
I would do a digital one.
but I don't ever feel like I got a lot of benefit out of vision boards, to be honest. It didn't really work for me.
Do you feel like you can manifest differently?
Self-affirmation.
I'm not a journaler either.
I'm not a journaler. I mean, I think for me, a lot of it is just if I'm feeling really down, I just have to keep reminding myself to like shift my perspective and that things could be worse and, you know, those sorts of things. Like, that's what works for me. I don't know. I don't do well with, and this is just me, right? Like physical objects where I have vision boards or I say things to myself every day, or I don't know. That stuff has never really worked.
I think
for
what I
me.
have a hard time with in terms of like saying these things to myself, like I'll say something and then there's the piece of my brain that's like, I call bullshit. You know, like I just feel like I'm faking it.
That's
it's like
that
the
negative little voice
right,
she's
but it's
talking
like
about,
to me
though.
it's like fake it till you make it kind of thing, and it just feels so not genuine and just so fake that I kind of hate it, but I still try. And then I think vision boards I just haven't really tried. Journals don't work for me. With the like wallowing piece, I also try and kind of talk myself out of it and try and, you know, put things in perspective and about what could be worse. But at the same time, I think it's okay to still acknowledge that even though things could be worse, it's okay to feel bad about what you
Yeah,
feel bad
I
about.
agree.
And sometimes
Just don't like wallow in it forever.
right. But sometimes I have to accept that I just need to wallow.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to feel your feelings and just
need to
like be
feel
upset
it.
for a day.
We
you
also
know?
have those moments, right, where it's like, I don't really know what I'm, also hashtag period, sponsor us. Like,
Hashtag.
right. Sometimes it's like,
Tampax.
hey, I don't know what I'm sad about, but I don't feel happy right now. I literally could not tell you why I'm upset. And
So real.
I just want to watch something miserable so that it makes me cry. And then I just want to go die in my bed. Like, that's
Yeah.
all it is. And I'm sorry, but like confused girls everywhere. Like, if you're in that time of the month, like I'm sorry, I love everyone. I love these ideas, but like I am not going to be like soon to bleed and then just being like, you know what? I know
Beth.
that I hate everything right now, but I'm going to go stand in front of a mirror being like, hey, I love your bloated belly.
Dude, it's
and
like-
I love your painful breasts. Like, I can't do it.
It's those freaking like tampons, you know? Tampax and like a lot of brands do this. When you take a tampon out, they have like a motivational message
Yes,
on it.
I hate that thing.
I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
It's like, girl, you can, and so you did, and you will. And I'm like, yeah, I'm
no.
gonna stick this up there and wish I died later.
And
like,
not just that, but I had to pay like $20 for this box of tampons
Right.
to give me this motivational
That's hopefully
message
not, like,
that you pretty much stole from Dove chocolates.
and then freaking, what was it, tampons? They had some kind of metal in them. Remember?
No.
Remember? It was all over the news that all the tampons had
Yeah, they had like toxic. Sorry, I
Yeah.
thought you meant like a little like award.
No, it's just like
We were talking about motivational messages, so I was imagining like a first place trophy
Oh,
in
yeah.
there.
That's funny. Honestly, that'd be more fun if I open it and it pops like a confetti. Whee! You know?
Think about like cereals.
Actually, I think that would eventually
Remember when there
make
were
me mad.
prizes in cereals?
I did
They
like
should have,
that.
instead of cereals, those should be in every tampon box.
Give me a coupon.
Yeah, give me a free box of tampons. How about that?
Yeah, give me something that's not like, girl, you got this. Because sometimes I don't.
I don't got
and I'm
this.
just like in a lot of pain.
And I'm very uncomfortable and I feel very ugly and my clothing doesn't fit and my head hurts and my boobs are sore and I just want to cry and leave me alone. I want to
Okay.
cry while eating a whole pizza and I'm not going to manifest anything.
Again, though, I think this is probably more of an extenuating circumstance.
Exception, not the rule.
But I think the important thing that I'm taking is it's okay sometimes to feel your feelings and have a day where you're just like gonna sit in it. But then it's like, okay, how do you get yourself out of
you gotta
it?
pick
And
yourself
like
back
that's
up.
different for everyone. Like I said, vision boards and self-affirmations haven't worked for me. I think honestly running helps me a lot, and just like making myself have thoughts, just like perspective in my brain shifts is like what I do. Everyone's different. Okay, final chapter. Start loving the heck out of yourself. This was a chapter that resonated with me the most. So, Giovanna, she's continuing to honor her individuality and her creative spirit. And she learns that we can't let dating disappointments define our worth. She has a great story about a man boy.
We won't say his name.
Named Matt. I will say his name. Never met a good Matt, never met a good John. Hey, if you're out there, though, email us at
mybfbookclub@gmail.com, and we will be the judge of whether or not you're a good Matt or John.
Giovanna will weigh in on you, too. Yeah. No, she has a good dating story, though, and I think it's a good story for women to read, too. It's like one of those where you're feeling really good, and then, someone kind of brings you down on a date, and you leave kind of just feeling not great, and then she goes home, but she looks at herself, and she's like, I'm a bad bitch. So it's good. Anyway.
I was kind of hoping she was going to end that story with, like, I looked at myself, I was like, damn, you look good, and I went back out.
Yeah. Get it? So then she creates this symbolic locket to remind herself to see herself through her own eyes, her loving eyes. I want to talk about this locket as well. She basically takes a photograph of herself and she cuts her eyes out and she puts it in a heart locket and she keeps it there as like a reminder of this moment and that she's beautiful and to love herself and to see herself through her eyes and never see herself through anyone else's eyes again. Then she gives us like a loving yourself checklist. It's an interesting checklist. I would read the book and check it out, but it's practicing self-compassion, setting boundaries, receiving compliments with grace, easing on your over-apologizing, and seeking support when you have imposter syndrome, which, we all have. So then when things go wrong, she flips the script with kindness. She's embracing her mistakes and, it's like we're human. This is what we do. Meet herself with warmth and kindness rather than judgment. She recognizes that loving others begins with healing herself, especially the parts that are shaped by childhood wounds. And looking at her inner child practices and then stretching into her parents' limitations and how they are as humans and how that's kind of helped her grow. I have that in discussion as well. But you're perfect, Mom. Love ya. And then
10 out of 10, no notes.
She treats herself with forgiveness as an ongoing process. Nothing's ever perfectly finished.
Except for you, you're perfectly done.
Thank you. Using boundaries and practices like the, I hope I say this right, Ho'oponopono mantra. And it helps her release anger and strengthen her sense of peace. I want to talk about this mantra as well. I was like, I'm going to try that. Her self-care becomes holistic and grounded, joyful moments, rest, nourishing food, that's you, honesty, and professional help when it's needed. I like that she acknowledges that sometimes you do need professional help, like you don't have the tools in your tool belt and neither do friends or family, and you need to go seek a professional. But ultimately, she commits to leading a life with self-love and compassion, choosing to see herself through her own eyes and choosing love as her compass whenever uncertainty arises. So that's the end of chapter 5.
Will you text me when you try it?
Yeah, Ho'oponopono. It means, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I just felt like,
That's beautiful.
Actually, should I though? Because I'm supposed to stop saying I'm sorry so much, and it starts with I am sorry.
But it's more to like you and the...
Like I'm sorry to myself?
Yeah, it's like you
I'm
and
always sorry to myself.
Okay. And the higher being. Like,
Maybe
right,
I
like,
should nix that. Am I allowed to do that to the Ho'oponopono? And I could just say, please forgive me, thank you, I love you?
You're, as a confused girl, allowed to do whatever feels right to you.
Thank you. Maybe I'll try it with my spin on it. But if that's disrespectful, someone tell me.
Giovanna.
Great. Maybe I will.
How she handles that.
But I liked that. It's like stop yourself and just be like, listen, forgive me. Thank you. I love you. You're the best, Claire. Amen.
That's what I say every time. Every day.
Okay. Let's talk about this heart locket where she cuts her eyes out. I thought it was just like such an interesting thing that she did. And I think I might...
the eyes piece? Or
Yeah, I think I might want to ask her about this because I was amazed that from that experience, this bad date, she got so upset, but then she regrounded herself and was like, no, through my eyes only. And her way of reacting to that, like tangibly, was to get this photo, cut her eyes out, and put it in this locket that she's been trying to find something precious to put in the locket. And it was kind of like, what better thing than something that's like close enough to your heart that's like, hey, through your eyes only. I just was like, I don't think I would ever think to do something like that. And I was amazed that that's where her brain went. And so I was trying to think of any time where I did anything similar, or I don't know. I thought it was just such an interesting reaction. And I don't know, something unique that I'd never heard before, I guess.
I think she's also, though, on this self-healing journey, right? And like growth journey. So this is very close to
like
her.
Very present.
Yeah, it's very present in her life. And we haven't been doing that because we're ready for it.
I also hate jewelry.
Yeah.
So like I wouldn't wear a locket.
I know, it's really hard because sometimes I find things that I'm like, she would like this, like as the thing it is, but like she wouldn't wear it.
No, sorry.
know.
All the boyfriends I've had, they're like,
And she's had so many.
They give me jewelry, and I'm like, can you just give me a video game instead? I really appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about over apologizing and receiving compliments. So I'm the over apologizer for sure.
I don't
can't
get a lot
stop
of
it.
compliments.
I don't apologize a lot in my personal life, but at work I apologize a lot, especially to people who are higher above than I am. Like I don't ever want to feel disrespectful or like I'm overstepping, so I always feel the need to apologize. And so I was asking my women coworkers, well, I was like, why do you guys think I do this? And one of them sent me this video that Amy Schumer made that's called I'm Sorry. And it's like a funny skit about just being a woman and how you're always like, oh my God, I'm sorry for just being a present. I'll link it in the show notes. It made me laugh really hard. But I think I just have the case of like being a woman. And also, I'm a middle child and I want to problem solve and I want everyone to be happy. So I can apologize a lot when it comes to like work, organizational things. But I think I'm mostly good with receiving compliments. I'm like, hey, thanks. Like, my shirt is fucking cool today.
There's that ego.
What?
I'm just kidding.
But I was thinking about you. And receiving compliments.
How dare you?
You talked about it earlier.
No, I'm not good at it. That's it.
Okay.
Have a good night. Keep on reading. No, I'm not good at it. It makes me feel awkward, uncomfortable. I am
self-affirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
have
got
to work
this.
on it.
I'll get you a locket and I'll cut your eyeballs out.
Perfect.
Okay, let's talk about having boundaries with relationships and people who have hurt you. This one really resonated with me, and I feel like I was practicing this and I didn't know I was even practicing it in a way.
You've had to have a lot of practice over the last years.
Thank you. But I was like, okay, I feel like this is a fair topic. Okay, so she talks about one of her friends, I think her name was Emily, who asked her to help her at a convention or something in Anaheim. And the gal was really kind at first, and she got there early to help her set up and do all this stuff. And then this woman started becoming like very demanding and sort of taking advantage of the fact that she was there just even helping her. And then she called a friend and was like, get me out of here. I'm not like, respectfully, screw this woman. And then she was like, I'm never speaking to her again. This person doesn't serve me. They don't bring joy. They're disrespectful of me and my time. And I was like, let's go, Giovanna. Let's go. I think that's hard for some people, though, to do, or for even people to understand sometimes, that when someone is devaluing you or they've crossed a very intimate boundary with you, that it's totally okay to just be like, that's that, you know?
I think it's another example, though, at least for me, of easier said than done. I think for someone, at this convention, easy. What about a relative?
Right. It's harder.
What about a parent? Someone you still see at Thanksgiving?
Right. It's harder when then it's like it's not a friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we do, Giovanna? Tell us.
Or like, what if, what if it's like a co-parenting relationship, or like there's so many other circumstances where it's so much harder to just be like, I'm out.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, last thing I was going to talk about was she talks about recognizing that her parents are people too. And they have their own set of complexities that have shaped them to who they are today. And I was just wondering when you came to realize this about your parents.
That they're their own people?
Yeah, like, don't you remember that moment when you were like, yeah, they're my parents, but you're like, wait, they're like me. They're confused girls too.
Both of my parents are confused girls. I guess I can't really think of like a moment that stands out where I realized that.
But you did come to that realization. Like one day you were like,
For the most part, I think sometimes when I think about being super young age and how little I feel like I know how to do anything or like live this life. And then I think about, when I was little, how someone my age felt ancient. Like they really had their shit together. And then I think about, that was like the age my parents were. And I wonder if they also felt like, Jesus, like I'm responsible for a human being and I'm just a child myself.
Right. They feel like they probably did.
Probably.
Yeah.
I see my friends now who have little babies and it's like, but they're teen moms.
Right. We used to do all this hooligan shit.
Yeah. We're still so too young to be
still
trusted.
doing hooligan shit.
I still have moments where like last year when my car died and I had to get a new car, like I knew I had to get a new car. I knew that it was okay to do so. I knew that, it was my responsibility to get this car and pay for it, all this stuff. But I still made my dad come with me because I was like, hold on, like I need you to tell me it's okay to buy this car. And his response was like, hey, so you're an adult and it's your money and also you need a car. So yes. And I was just like, no, you don't understand. Like, it just feels like I shouldn't be allowed to do this on my own. Like, it's just so, I don't know. Like, I still have those moments where I'm like, who let me be an adult here?
It's like when you think about your teachers growing up and you're like, they're like professionals and that's how they live their entire life. But then when they're outside of school and they're just normal people, like going to the bar and like doing racket shit. It's like, no, that's my teacher.
Think about like my old roommate after you, like they're a teacher.
Yeah.
And so I as someone who's lived with them and, still sees them and jokes around with them and sends memes and stuff, I'm like, holy shit, that's someone's educator.
Yeah. I think it's just like a really important realization for everyone to have though. And like you'll have it eventually if you haven't yet about your parents, but it's like these are real people with real struggles and personalities and complexities of their own that they dealt with growing up and their family, and it's like a whole thing. So I like that she brought it up. Yana, what's your food rating for the first half of Giovanna's book?
Well, since it's a healing self-help piece, I'm learning a lot about how to heal my...
Okay.
So I'm going to say a cough drop.
Ooh, is it at least a pleasantly tasting one?
Yeah, I like those like Ricola, more like natural ones.
The ginger ones?
Yeah, I mean, I like the good burn.
Okay.
But it's like a slow burn.
Okay.
And then I feel like it's soothing and it also kind of helps take your mind off things, like the pain, right? It like coats your throat.
Okay.
Why, what's yours, Claire?
Well, I was going in the same direction, but with something more pleasant, I think. I love afternoon tea, so I was thinking about like warm chamomile with like little sandwiches and some like pastry, just little snack with some delightful tea as my food rating.
I love that. Do you have a sexy side piece?
Yeah, I'm still working my way through the second book of From Blood and Ash. I'm moving much faster. Girl keeps repeating herself again, but God knows I'll probably finish and go on to the next because I'm a masochist. So, what about you?
I just got this book delivered, so I'm still on the title page, but my new book is called Notes on Infinity, a novel by Austin Taylor, and it's about Two Harvard students who develop an anti-aging drug and launch a successful biotech startup, but their partnership faces a devastating accusation that threatens everything they built.
Isn't that a Hulu show?
Is it?
I think maybe they did do that. I have to look it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
All right. Well, friends, tune in next week to finish the second part of Confused Girl. And then remember that final third episode, we'll have Giovanna on the podcast and we'll do some fun interview and conversation with her. In the meantime, follow us on your favorite podcast streaming platforms. Share us with your friends, people who like to read, people who don't like to read, people who are confused. People who are not confused.
Manifest success for us.
And tap that 5-star like
It's an affirmation in the mirror.
Yeah. So tune in next week. And until then, friends, if you don't want to read Confused Girl with us, that's fine. We'll summarize it and we'll chat through the book with Giovanna. And we just love to read. So remember,
Keep on reading.